Thank you.
Recording and copy.
So good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday, July 16th, and this is the monthly meeting of the Palm Springs Airport Commission. I'm Kevin Corcoran, and welcome to all of our guests, welcome to staff, welcome to our new commission members. We're happy you're here. Let's do first the Pledge of Allegiance, and then ask new Commissioner Tim Shuffler. Can you lead us with the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. So has the agenda been posted?
Yes, the agenda was posted.
Let's do a roll call, please.
Roll call. Banks is absent. Burke,
Present.
Caldwell,
Present.
Corcoran,
Present.
Delgado. Evan Steiner is on Zoom. However, he cannot participate because he did not provide his address. So he's marked as absent. And Fong,
Present.
Hedrick,
Here.
Keel,
Here.
Martin is absent. McDermott,
Here.
Park,
Here.
Sam Lanska,
Here.
Scheffler.
Scheffler. Thank you for that. Scheffler. And
Here.
Valdez.
Here.
Voss.
Present.
Wiseman. Checking, come on Zoom real quick. No, he's not present. And Young.
Sure.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Wise is here too.
Oh, Wise.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize. Wise.
All right, want to welcome Brenda Free, our city clerk. Brenda, I see you here. When we welcome new commissioners on board at our July meeting, we also had an opportunity not only to swear you in, but also to be the election of officers for the commission. So Brenda, I'll let you take the lead.
Good afternoon, Brenda Free, City Clerk. I am here, certainly welcome all new members aboard this afternoon to serve on this very important board. I will conduct your election for your chair and your vice chair at this time. And so at this moment, I'll call for nominations for the position of chair.
I'd like to nominate Kevin Corcoran to be chair. Kevin has been on the board for, I don't know if this is your first or second term, but
My third.
third, okay. But in any event, his time as chair has been exemplary. He has worked well with the staff. He has worked well with the commission and the city, and I think he deserves another year.
I'll second that.
Any further nominations? Seeing none without objection, nominations are closed. So Commissioner Corcoran has been nominated for chair. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Commissioner Corcoran is your chair. Nomination now open for the position of vice chair. Do we have any nominations for that position?
I would like to nominate Todd Burke. I think he's done an outstanding job for many of the same reasons Ken just shared about Kevin. And I think we would all benefit from his leadership another term.
I'll second.
Are there any further nominations for vice chair? Commissioner Burke has been nominated for vice chair. All in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. Commissioner Burke is elected as your vice chair. At this time, I'll take a motion to accept the election of Commissioner Corcoran as your chair and Commissioner Burke as your vice chair. Move. Second?
Second.
Okay. Madam Clerk, can you please take a roll call vote?
Roll call. We have Burke,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Fong,
Aye.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Park,
Yes.
Sam Lanska,
Yes.
Scheffler,
Yes.
Valdez,
Yes.
Boss.
Yes.
Wiseman didn't join real quick. And Wise
Yes.
and Young.
Yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cochran, your meeting.
Thank you, Brenda. Thanks for coming. And thank you to all the commissioners. I think this week we're both out on ourselves. We appreciate your support and excited about the year ahead and all the things we can get done. Todd,
Well, thank you. This is year 7 for me, and I'm thrilled to have a second term on here and to work with Kevin and all the commissioners. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Okay, I need a motion to accept the agenda.
Second.
Fine.
Thank you. Burke,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Delgado, Fong,
Aye.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Park,
Yes.
Sam Lanska,
Yes.
Scheffler,
Yes.
Valdez,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Are there any public comments?
There are no scheduled public speakers. Does anybody on Zoom wish to make a public comment? Please raise your virtual Zoom hand. Anyone in the room wish to make a public comment? No public comments.
All right. We need to approve the minutes from our April meeting and also from our May meeting. So let's do the April meeting first. I have a motion to approve these minutes.
Mr. Chairman, before you move forward, for the minutes of April 23rd, I think there is a correction.
Go for it.
For those minutes, page 10 of 18. First paragraph, without putting words in Commissioner Hedrick's mouth, I think he was referring to flights to and from IAD, as in Dulles, instead of IAB in that paragraph.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and make those corrections.
Other corrections? Thank you for that. Any other corrections? We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Fine.
Thank you. Okay. That is Burke,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Fong.
Aye.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Park,
Yes.
Sam Lanska,
Yes.
Scheffler,
Yes.
Valdez,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
and Young.
Yes.
Thank you.
So that motion passes. Next, the minutes for our May 21st meeting. First of all, any comments or changes to the minutes?
Anyone on Zoom wish to make a public comment, please raise your virtual Zoom hand. Anyone in the room? No public comments.
All right, a motion to accept.
We approve.
Second. Approved.
Thank you. There we go. Burke,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Fong,
Aye.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Park,
Abstain.
Sam Lanska,
Yes.
Scheffler,
Yes.
Valdez,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
and Young.
Yes.
Thank you all. Introductions and presentations. We have several new leaders who have joined the staff, and we're going to let Harry introduce them, as well as welcome officially Phil and Tim Scheffler to the commission. So Harry, I'll let you do the introductions of the new staff folks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I want to introduce our new safety management systems manager, Bruce Wayne Warhol. He's sitting there in the blue shirt with no handsome. So can you stand up and say a few words?
Yeah, what's up, everyone? Happy to be here with you guys. Happy to join the team. As a manager now, I've been with the air for almost 4 years in various capacities, including a specialist, supervisor of operations, supervisor of security for a short time, and now as manager. A little of my background, prior to coming over to PSP, I worked for the state of San Diego in airport operations. Prior to that, in ground handling operations at Burbank in San Diego International Airport, in safety, as well as training and development. Prior to that, in my prior life, I was for 9 years since high school with Universal Studios Hollywood. I got a little bit of background on safety there as well as customer service and anything you can name in operations. So good. Looking forward to, being a contributing part of the team.
Congratulations on your promotion. Congratulations.
Next, I'd like to introduce Ryan Casperi. So many of you know that we have been looking for deputy director of capital development for about 2 years. We finally found the right person coming from Minnesota and also the international Robert Ryan Casperi. So if you can say a few words.
Yes, thank you. I am thrilled to be here. Let me tell you first and foremost, I did come from Duluth, Minnesota, northern Minnesota, where I spent the last 25 years as a federal employee. I just recently retired. Most of that time was as director of facilities and engineering for the Minnesota Air National Guard. In the last 3 years of my career there, I have served as the executive director for mission support. Got an Air Force background. I'm a mission support commander. Still attached militarily until the end of the calendar year. Thrilled to be here. I grew up here and moved away 35 years ago, and I always plan to come back here someday. So I'm really excited to quasi-retire to Palm Springs. Now I'm just working to try and get my family here. My wife is still back in Minnesota trying to close up things. But, we couldn't be more thrilled to be here, and I'm looking so forward to being able to contribute to the team. And hopefully give you some production here soon.
Welcome home, Ryan. Glad you're here. That's great.
All right. And then I would like to acknowledge the position reclassification / promotion of Victoria Carpenter to Assistant Airport Director. Many of you know Victoria. She's been a critical part of the executive team. Worked very, very hard. Didn't have an aviation background, but picked up on it very quickly. And so I want to congratulate Victoria on her promotion.
Congratulations. At our last meeting, we asked Tim Shepard to introduce himself, do a quick introduction. We won't ask you to do it again, but welcome officially to the commission. Phil Valdez, been appointed by the city of Indian Wells. Welcome, Phil. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Welcome to our commission.
Thank you. I am the new commissioner for Indian Wells. I'm great privilege to do that. It's an honor on my part to do that as well. Originally from Denver, Colorado, Air Force brat. I'm a retired corporate pilot. I was chief pilot for a Fortune 500 company out of Atlanta. My wife is from Orange County. I currently have a daughter at UC San Diego. So I get to San Diego as much as I can, especially in the summertime because it gets hot here. I don't do any more flying. I figured 40 years was enough time, and my wife is appreciative of it. When she saw my Marriott stays at 1,500 stays, that's just in Marriott alone, she said, it's time. And I said, I agree. So now, but I'm a docent at the Air Museum. So if you're there on a Tuesday afternoon and you go to the F-117 hangar, you'll see me there. And I can tell you everything you need to know about the F-117. You could probably win a few bar bets at the end of the day. So, but that's my story, and I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to working with everyone for the next couple of years.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're here. All right. Our first agenda item, ready to move forward? We're good?
Yes.
All right. An update on the lobby space. Just some comments before we switch to Victoria and our friends from Hughes. Those of you know, we've been looking for several months at how we can activate that former bistro space. And I'm really pleased with the progress we've made on this. And I just wanted to take a moment, just a quick shout out to Councilman Jeffrey Bernstein. He came to us and identified this space when we were trying to find ways to publicize major events in Palm Springs, somewhere in the airport. That discussion grew into how can we activate this space, which then led into the discussion with you. So Jeffrey, I'm glad you're here to see how that sparkle, that idea has been developed, and some exciting plans we have for that space and for the airport. So thank you for getting involved. And with that, I'll turn it over to Victoria and take it from there.
Great, thank you. All right, good evening. So today we actually have our Fuse partners here with us today. As you all probably recall, we entered into a contract with Fuse a couple of years ago for our probably going to be just going on 2 years now for our advertising contract. And with that contract came other creative things that Fuse can help us with. So some of the things include some helping us with naming rights and and some type of sponsorship opportunities for the airport. So we're utilizing this time to work with our partners. They have been great and instrumental in getting a lot of things going for us. As you see, the activation space was one of the spaces that they helped promote and bring to life, as well as they've really changed the game for our advertising. They really worked with our local community firsthand to actually meet with the community and bring them into the airport. So if you look at our financials look great when they're compared to prior year for our advertising, because Fuse has really elevated the bar for us. So with that, I'm actually going to turn it over to Fuse. They're going to introduce themselves and then do a presentation in regards to the lobby space. It's free security. It's right where the exit lane is. It looks like a roll-up door because there's nothing in it at the moment. And so they're going to speak on that and introduce themselves.
Thank you so much, Victoria, and it's a real pleasure to be with everyone this evening. I'm Scott Jacobson. I'm the founder, CEO of Fuse. We brought our whole all-star team here this evening. Alex, who's our president, Rich, who's our government and community relations director, and then Keith in the back, who's in charge of our strategy, and then probably the most important person, our chief puppy officer, Barnabas. So he's here with us. As Kevin and Victoria mentioned, when we kind of took over this advertising contract a few years ago, one of the things that we really wanted to instill in this arrangement was that we wanted to be partners with the community at the airport. Traditionally in this space, a company comes in, they focus on the advertising revenue. It's very transactional. Like we put up ads, we put up screens, and that's kind of it, right? Where we said from day one, we wanted to be true partners and really invest in the community. And so whether it was this year when we did KEA for Pride Week, where we had them broadcasting from the airports, whether it's working with our local community. If you look at our data, 85% of the advertisers in the airport are local. And we're really proud of that. So even though, as Victoria mentioned, the advertising revenue has climbed significantly, the core of that has remained local, and that's something that we're super proud of. So when Kevin approached us about this and Councilmember Bernstein and kind of had this vision for this space, we were so excited to participate in it because this is what we get excited about, is how can we take underutilized spaces, create revenue opportunities, but more importantly, create a really cool passenger experience. So when we look at this space, there's kind of three main goals for it. One is to take a underutilized space and create an amenity for passengers. So how can we, and family members, so how can we create a space where people can engage with it, they can spend time in there, they can feel comfortable in there, they can take sense of pride in the airport and the community. Two is to really reflect the community. So when we look at this space, our main goal is we want to create an immersive experience that reflects really the best of the valley, reflects the local community. And then three, which we all love, and I know you love, is create revenue opportunities for something that's not there. So that's been kind of the main vision that's driven us as we've had these conversations and we've come to approach this. And I think, the other thing I want to mention is that the charge to us was, as we jumped into this, is how quickly can we get this done? And not just quickly in a sense of rush it, but let's hit the ground running. Let's take these ideas, let's take this vision, and let's put it to practice. So the whole Fuse team, that's why we're here this evening. We brought everyone, is to really let you all know that we're completely on board to move forward and really make this space come alive for you all. Kind of a couple highlights that we wanted to talk about. So what would this space look like? I kind of mentioned some kind of fun, comfortable seating, charging stations. We all know that one of the feedbacks from the airport when they do surveys is that there's not enough places to charge. We spend a lot of time in the terminal, and it's very clear you have a lot of individuals, especially during busy season, that are standing right there in the lobby at those stanchions waiting for their loved ones, their friends to arrive. So how amazing would it be to have a space for them to relax and wait for those arriving passengers? how could we tell the story of local, right? How could we have digital displays that maybe talked about all the events that are happening in Palm Springs? Maybe there was an opportunity to purchase tickets to certain events. Maybe there's a calendar of events. So we want to have some really cool digital displays in there that are able to do that. Simple things too, like flight information displays. Let's have a fit in there so people know when people are arriving. The other thing is we want to make sure that the design aesthetic, again, really reflects the best of Palm Springs. So as we move forward, we're going to be engaging with a firm to design and build this space. We'll make sure that renderings, that things are done, that we share with you all, that we have stakeholder meetings along the way. I want to mention Samantha, the marketing committee, who have been awesome kind of working with us and giving us feedback on how we should be approaching this. And so I think that's really important to us. And then the other thing is we want to make this space really come alive throughout the year. So not just a static space that sits there, but this space would really be utilized for activations throughout the year. So you all, and I think Daniel ran a really cool activation with Golden Voice, right, around Stagecoach, and they had set up in there, but let's like do that throughout the year. You know, again, companies will set up for different events in the community. They'll have a little fold-out table kind of in your baggage claim in the corner, and they kind of put up some chairs, and you know, let's have them do that in this space so they can, you know, we get all the time companies, Ernst & Young, and different people that have events in the Coachella Valley, and they want to greet people. So what would it look like to have them set up in there, and they can pass out their lanyards to people that are arriving and make it really feel like a curated experience. So we're going to approach this as making it a year-round activation that, again, and Alex will talk about in a second, but how we can drive some revenue through some of those activations as well. This is just kind of a really quick fuse. This, I want to mention this. This is not a firm, architecture firm doing a rendering. This is us. So take that with a grain of salt. It just kind of lets you know, right, that we want to have some sort of displays. We want to have a fit. We want to have some cool furniture. Again, we want to have opportunities for people to engage and relax and really feel special. I think the other thing that stood out when the airport does some of their surveys is, besides charging, one of the other biggest things that people have asked for is some sort of lounge, some sort of space that they could go to like other airports that kind of feel special. And so what's really unique about this is you'll find those post security at a lot of airports. We're really talking about flipping the script and doing that pre-security, right? So that we could have that experience that you have when you go to one of those lounges, but it could be for the people here in the community as well as, individuals that are just arriving. So I think that's a really fun piece of this as well. That kind of leads us to sort of the revenue potential that we believe we could drive from the space, and want to let Alex kind of speak to that a little bit.
Thanks, Scott, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. I get to talk about the fun stuff, which is how we make money. I would like to preface by saying that we understand that vacant space in the airport is a valuable commodity. And as Scott mentioned, we want to ensure that we are not only enhancing the passenger experience, but we are maximizing revenue through the use of the space. So how we envision this going about this is through the leveraging of 3 levers. The first being the actual sponsorship component, right? So we will go out to the community, we will engage with the airport staff, the commission, and we will identify 2 or 3 potential sponsors that we would potentially name and sponsor this location. So from that, these are just projections, but we anticipate that we can leverage at least 6,000 or so a month in revenue from that. It could be a little bit higher, possibly a little bit lower, but on average, we think around 600 is what this location would be. 6,000 is what this location would be valued at monthly. The second lever would be the advertising component. Fuse is committing a CapEx component for this, so we will actually install digital screens in this space, and we will run it through our media player. So we will upload advertising content, and we will be able to sell and essentially bring in revenue through those networks. The third would be the activation component that Scott mentioned. So throughout the year, obviously, we have some great events and conferences that come in, and they're always looking for a unique space to create engaging activations and to welcome passengers. So we think we can leverage that to create some additional revenue. Again, these are just projections. We see year one being a transition year. There's going to be a lot of essentially information, and it's going to be really, we're going to be engaging with the community to make them aware of this opportunity. And we see the first year as a transition, and then I think year two we could hit this number here. See on the screen.
Yeah, I just want to add a couple of things on the sponsorship piece. We don't envision this being where we go out and it's just someone puts their name on it and then they kind of own the space. We envision this as the right partner that wants to make sure that this is truly a community space, so that again, we have those activations. We're highlighting different brands and companies. So it's going to be a little different, for instance, in the Agua Caliente deal, which was, they're kind of in essence owning a space. This is really a collaborative effort, right? So the right partner would say, hey, we want to highlight the community. We want to work with, the tourism groups. We want to work with the different cities and kind of make sure that it's a true partnership. So that means that potential is very small, but we kind of already have some ideas and thoughts. And again, we would be working closely at Kevin's direction with whoever, and Samantha and the team and Todd, to make sure that we were hitting on having the right conversations. The other thing that I'm excited about the advertising opportunity is I talked about the importance of local. One of the things, right, is that it is expensive to advertise in an airport, and sometimes a really small mom and pop restaurant or a hardware store that's been here forever, it's hard for them, right? So what's great about this opportunity is this would be a low entry point for those advertisers to be able to showcase their brand, the restaurant, in a way that's not baggage claim video and it's a couple grand a month and stuff like this. This would be a lower entry point. We're really getting access to even more advertisers, and they can get in front of those travelers and passengers. And we really envision some sort of interactive kiosk where people could engage with those companies right there and then.
Yep. And in terms of timeline, as Scott mentioned, we want to hit the ground running, and I think we've already put some work into this process. Obviously, we've had some discussions with the council and the airport staff. I think within the next few weeks, as you can see on the timeline, by the end of the month, we want to finalize the goals. We would love to get some feedback from the larger group on what the vision is for this, what the goals are, if the financial projections look great to you all. From there, we would move to the next step, which would be really to clean up the space. Right now, there are some, I think it's being used as a storage facility. So we would have to clean out some of the space. We bring in a group to really clean it up, rewire some of the electrical components in there to get it front. And we would also, on the view side, we would start to engage with the community members to see who the right partner would be for this location. This would be a collaborative effort, and so along the way, we would communicate with you all to make sure that we are engaging with the right community partners, and we will take your feedback and continue to have those discussions. The next phase, once we identify the partner, is we would come up with a final design, which again would require airport and commission approval. And then we would get into the fun stuff and building this space out. Our tentative goal, is to have this ready by the new year, in time for the peak season, and it would be a great addition to the airport.
Yeah, I guess we'll just end by saying again, Fuse is committing our own capital to this, so that's one of our commitments to this, is we will be putting in our own money to collaborate. I know the airport is going to be working on cleaning out the space, so again, this is a truly collab partnership, and we're super excited. I think if we do this right, which I believe we will, we have all the right people in the room. I think this will be a place that other airports will look at and potentially become a model of other places. So. With that, happy to take any questions or
questions.
This timeline, it's this year?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
How unusual.
We're ready to go right now.
Please.
Mr. Chairman, there's a couple of things. I think it's great. I hope that you find the right partners and sponsors that will work with you. A couple of suggestions, and I realize that your presentation is just a proposal, it's just ideas, but a couple of things to think about. I don't think I need to say to you that the Palm Springs Surf Club is probably a bit of false advertising when you think about the desert. The Desert Arrivals is great. One thing you might want to think about, and this is just a suggestion from one person, if you think about either desert breezes, obviously the airport is a place where airplanes come and go. I wouldn't call it a haboob, a Scirocco maybe. And then the other thing to think about is I realize that there may be a naming opportunity for the co-sponsor, so that's fine. But one thing is that the local Indian tribe here is the Coahuila Band of Indians. And I'm wondering whether the word that they have for welcome is accessible for something like this. You could tie it to your co-sponsor, but I'm just wondering whether the word is accessible or not. It may or may not be pronounceable, but just a thought.
Thank you.
Pardon?
I will say that the word for hello in Korea is miawe.
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 Thank you.
Certainly is accessible.
Other comments or questions?
Do we know what this space currently looks like? I mean, we've all heard the stories as we've been renovating. And in that building and its historic nature, do we anticipate any structural issues when we're going through this process? The best of your knowledge.
So there is some piece of the ceiling that we could take down so that we can actually open it up a little bit. Because right now there's something odd there. We can remove that, and then there's even opportunity for us to remove some of the side panels that are there when you exit. Right now, currently, we have the Living Desert advertisement on some glass panels there. So we are actually thinking about, potentially just opening that up completely. That's an opportunity there. Previously, anybody does remember the location when Celebrity Bistro was open. It was a bar, and you could sit and you could see all the people walking at the exit lane, and you could sit there and drink your cocktail or something. So there are some opportunities there for us to open it up. So there will be some movement there. We do need to just make sure that architecturally we can remove some walls and do that, but that's all being discussed right now.
Okay, the deal is that the airport will demo the space and pay for that, correct?
Yes.
And just get us updated where you are in terms of looking at resources for that.
Yes, so we've obtained 3 quotes for that, and we have 2 that are on call, and then 1 that is not our on call. The one that's not our on call is the lowest price, much lower. So if we do that, then we would just have to go through the city's process of making sure that they get on our agreement and have our insurance, business license, etc. Commissioner Caldwell?
Commissioner Caldwell, you're muted.
Thank you so much. I'm assuming that space will be open 24 hours or as long as the airport is open, obviously. And do we anticipate any problems with the unhoused? That's such a beautiful, inviting space.
Thank you for those questions. So we currently have something in our ordinance that states that if you do not have official business at the airport, then there's no loitering. So we do not anticipate there being any issues with that. We also do have our police department that's on 24 hours a day. Their building or their office is the office right behind that. So I don't foresee any concerns, but they do have what they need in order to move people along if they are unhoused. What was the first question? I'm sorry, Commissioner Caldwell.
It will be open 24 hours.
There's some Oh, yeah, there is actually potential of it being open 24 hours. We've been going back and forth because right now, if we do not remove the wall that's there and we keep the roll-up door, then we have the opportunity of closing it whenever the last flight is and then reopening it again. But most likely it will be open.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
With appreciation that the depictions of the space are just preliminary. I count roughly 12 or 15 seats in those. In terms of the dimensions of the space, is that about what you would expect as the seating capacity or?
No, I mean, we would engage with whatever firm we decide to actually design and build. They would do a furniture study based on the square footage and see how creative we could get. And we would try to get as much seating as possible, but also make sure that there was space available for, people, again, to do these activations or setup or things like that. So, yeah, I would say I wouldn't go by that. I would say we would engage in some sort of study based on the square footage to see what we could do. We were able to really, on the Agua Caliente space, get a good number of seatings and charging and again, a space about this size. So I feel pretty good that we can make it work.
Thank you.
Please.
I know that the space is right by the area where you exit from the sterile area of the airport. I don't know what the security requirements are, but is it possible maybe that you could cannibalize some of that to make the exit area part of this? So that it's actually larger and bigger, and people would exit from the active airport into this larger space that would maybe add to your square footage and still stay a security area. I don't know what the requirements are, but is that possible?
Gonna defer to Jeremy Eating because he's in charge of operations.
Yeah, so that, we obviously have to keep that corridor secure. And we're gonna be replacing the revolving doors to more of the standard corridor system that you see at a lot of airports. And there's actually sensors there that alarm the control center when you go back that way towards those doors. So there's some challenges there, but I don't know that it's, I'm sure we can look at all that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that, that is such that exit area is so wide, not looking at this, but just that exit area, that if you creatively use some of the space, maybe not for seats, but for, let's say, stools and charging areas on one wall, and then maybe seating areas on the other, so that it actually becomes a larger space. And when you exit the airport, you exit into this welcome area. But that's
very cool idea.
Now, if you can cheat the space, that'd be great. Get more space.
Wouldn't it be nice to cannibalize some of that?
That'd be great.
Just
other comments? Victoria, what are you looking for us tonight?
I think all the feedback that we received tonight was great. Alex, Scott, is there anything else that you would like from the commission?
I think we're looking for you all to say, let's move forward. I mean, it's always nice to have the backing when we end to go into something. So we don't worry about that. So I don't know if it's like an official vote, but it'd be nice to know that you guys like the idea and want to move forward.
So I think I can speak for the commission and mirroring your things, like, are we really going to get this done this year? How fast can we move forward? And the answer is yes. So please keep going. And I know the intent is for Sam and the marketing subcommittee to do the day-to-day interactions on activations and on designs and stuff like that. So between their day-to-day support and working with the staff and with Fuse, that's how we're going to make sure this thing continues to move. And I know you were surprised, but certainly the last bullet on their objectives is something I just want to acknowledge. One of the reasons that we went with Fuse on this is because we didn't want to take 3 years to figure this out and go to RFPs and everything else. I mean, the idea of using an existing contract with our advertising partners was the key to us to move quickly on this idea and try to activate this space. So again, thank you again, Jeffrey, for your initial response and trying to challenge us to figure out how we could leverage the promotion of more Palm Springs things in the airport, but also to our partners at Fuse. I mean, if we're pulled this off by the December 1st, the opening of the Plaza Theater, I don't want to get too far over his feet, but wouldn't that be nice? If we can get this done by the end of the year, that would be amazing for the airport, amazing for the city. So all systems go, and we'll look forward to getting updates from you guys and for Victoria as you move through the process. And Sam and the marketing team are available to follow up on a day-to-day basis. So move. All good? We all agree?
We're on it. Thank you so much. We appreciate the partnership.
Absolutely.
Do we have any questions from the public on Zoom that wish to make a public comment? Please raise your virtual Zoom hand. Anyone in the room wish to make a public comment? No public comments.
So the next agenda item is somewhat connected to this. And I'll have Victoria and will explain the Fuse contract. But one of the key parts of the relationship was if we extended the contract based on performance, they would free up some money that Fuse could commit to this particular project. So I will send it over to you, Victoria will talk about this proposal, and then I'll have some comments just how these two projects came.
Yes, actually, in your agenda packet tonight, you will see two extensions. The first extension letter for the original agreement, 23T069 for the airport display advertising concessions agreement. There is an extension for option one. We're commencing that it extends through June 30th, 2027. And then you'll see the second extension that is in there that will extend through June 30th, 2028. So I do also want to recognize staff. Lowell Valencia Miller, he has helped tremendously with all kinds of revenue contracts, including this contract here. And I just want to say thank you to all staff that's helped out, even tonight with Tanya, with getting everything prepared for commission. So anyhow, just wanted to throw out the kudos, but yes, that's tonight we have where we're doing the two extensions for Fuse so that they can help with putting the capital that's needed to help make this space amazing. And I'll turn it back over to you, Commissioner Corcoran.
So the decision to trigger these extensions, which are part of the existing contract, it's a direct result of the performance that Fuse is delivered. And I've asked Scott and team in our September, October meeting to come and just give a 2-year update and just the dramatic revenue increase based on their efforts. And again, the appreciation for executing the Avocado Ante deal, the agreement, and activating that space. And as evidenced by this proposal tonight, this is what partnership is all about. And so we're thrilled that as a result of the success and the revenue for the city and for the airport, and also these creative ideas, we're supporting the extension of the contract, which again will free up some money so that they can make bigger CapEx investments in our airport. So I just wanted to make that comment before we go to a vote. We're going to vote, correct?
Yes.
All right. I'd like to just get a what's the word? Please, sort of looking for to support this motion. Thank you. Motion to approve this, please.
It would be, well, first, do we have anyone from the public wish to make a public comment? Anyone in the room? Anyone on Zoom? Please raise your virtual Zoom hand for public comments. Now, it's a motion to support the airport display advertising concession agreement 2 1-year extension letters with Fuse Connect LLC.
So moved.
Second. So that is Burke,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Fong,
Aye.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Park,
Yes.
Sam Lanska,
Yes.
Scheffler,
Yes.
Valdez,
Yes.
Voss,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
and Young.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you for all your good work. We look forward to seeing the activated space by the end of the year, December 1st. The only month to bring it up. Thank you, guys.
We better get to work. So we're excused, so we can go. We're gonna start driving around town and talking to you.
All right, 9C, the update on the art curator decision. Who's leading this?
That's going to be the Chair Corcoran. So the commission may remember that earlier this year, the Support Commission created an arts policy as well as the scope of work for arts curation. That was really to help move the ball forward when it comes to developing an arts program that reflects the spirit of the community and the spirit of the airport. So we went through an RFP process for our curator, which was publicly solicited. We had a number of respondents, they were all really well qualified, but we did end up selecting a group creative services. We are offering a contract to tonight, and so they are going to present. I have Taylor Dawson, Alex Braidwood, Molly Wood, and Ryan Hamzer from Group Creative Services. They'll give a presentation, and the ask tonight is that we recommend approval of Group Creative Services contract to the City Council board. Turn it over to Taylor.
I'm gonna go ahead, also just a quick thing, I'm gonna allow Molly to talk because it's not letting me promote her to panelist. So I'm just gonna allow her to talk.
Can you remove that?
Yes.
Thank you for inviting us to present today. Can you all hear me okay?
We can.
Thank you. We are excited to be part of exploring creative possibilities with you as the airport enters into an era of major transformation. We recognize this pivotal moment for a key gateway in the region. Your needs really go beyond art curation. The next 3 years, we will need to thoughtfully set the stage for many years of artistic integration into airport design, policy, program, construction, and well beyond. As the public art consultancy, we are experienced and ready to support the work ahead. From neighborhood programs to international exhibitions, we've activated artists to maximize economic, cultural, and community benefits of public investments. Our work includes planning and art curation for cities and other public jurisdictions. I'm Chiva Dawson, founder and owner of Group Creative Services. Before starting this public art consultancy, I worked for local and regional governments for nearly 20 years. I certainly know how to navigate government. I kind of laughed when you thought that Fuse's timeline of a short 6 months was doable, because yes, things usually take longer in government work. We have a few folks representing our team today, but I'm going to introduce everyone that will be supporting the work ahead. Ryan is here, and with his background in marketing communication, he knows how to build relationships at scale. Alex is a sound artist, designer, and educator, and he is our artistic advisor with extensive experience in managing artists and driving artist strategy. Jonathan has worked as an art curator for more than 20 years, including galleries in LA, but most recently supported art integration into the Des Moines airport and their expansion. Molly and Sarah with Groundworks, based out of California, will bring their landscape architecture eye to ensure the public art is meaningfully integrated into the current and future environment. And Carl is there to provide financial oversight, especially with funds coming from several different sources. A little bit about Group Creative Services. We have 3 main areas of work. We do a lot of planning work. So our art and culture plans are much more than place art here. We really work to create meaningful multi-year roadmaps using the power of artists to advance larger civic goals and to build public art practice into municipal processes. Our plans bring new attention to community character. You guys certainly have lots to honor, raise the voices of residents, and honor contemporary heritage while envisioning new possibilities. This really is a variety of forms: sculptural installations, performance and sound art, artistic lighting, and much more. Programming, it's not enough just to install a piece of artwork. It really needs an extra layer of programming. So we facilitate artist and residency programs, advance socially engaged art, host artist talks, and create resident level programs to engage citizens in co-creating more wonder in the community. And then curation, whether temporary or permanent, parks or building lobbies. We complete art installations that meet client vision, deadlines, and budget. We do not represent specific artists. Rather, we draw on a network of local, national, and international artists to find those who are exactly the right fit for the need, and then manage those projects through completion. We'll talk a little bit about what we hope to do in the next 3 years and what we're ready to do. But just for everyone, and you all know this, that airports is a place of civic pride. And we want that to be true even during your major construction. So we will facilitate diverse engaging and accessible art collections that reflect Palm Springs' identity and appeals to a broad audience. We'll manage, maintain, and expand the airport's art portfolio through connections, again, to a variety of artists and cultural institutions to ensure that your art program remains dynamic and relevant. Through the arts, the airport will foster a strong sense of place for those that live there, your employees that work there at the airport, and for those of us that enjoy traveling there.
In a few ways that we'll do that through art and curation and the artist coordination is to identify, evaluate, and contract local, national, and international artists to feature in the airport's art program, curate temporary and rotating exhibits to keep the art program engaging for frequent travelers. We also understand that we need to navigate the distinction between things like murals and other forms of art as defined by the city's municipal codes. And we can also help to ensure compliance with different approval processes based on different funding sources. And along with that comes maintenance and conservation. This is really critical to the long-term success of artist engagement. So what we can do is develop a maintenance schedule for permanent rotating art pieces, coordinating with the airport facilities team to ensure that the artwork is preserved. We'll conduct regular inspections and manage necessary repairs, cleaning, conservation efforts, and to guarantee overall program success. And then we're also able to document artwork conditions, update inventories, and oversee proper handling during installation and deinstallation. And part of that from the perspective of installation and installation coordination is to oversee this installation of work in coordination with airport operation to minimize disruptions. We'll help to ensure that all installations meet safety, security, and accessibility standards. We'll create detailed installation plans, timelines, and budget to ensure efficient and secure placement of art pieces. And we'll coordinate with external vendors for specialty installation needs when required. We'll also ensure that installations meet specific environmental requirements such as temperature resistance, wind resistance, building code, proper seismic compliance, appropriate fastening systems, etc. And that will create a space where we can navigate different approval processes depending on the funding sources and the art type. So with that, we'll be able to coordinate with the planning department when required for specific installations.
Program development. This is the work that builds a multi-year plan for sustained engagement that's really celebrating Palm Springs, aligned with the airport public art policy that you all adopted in January. It's really important. It's an early venue for community engagement that addresses the program during years of construction, as Tiva mentioned, establishing a desired future state, and then building dialogue with all stakeholders. This is artists, community, visitors, airport staff, all the folks to deliver on program. Further, we have a responsive process that looks at creative and vitalizing ways to match the transformative art experiences with the community interests, the histories, the culture. I learned a new word tonight. Thank you. And in advancing a remarkable place together, this is community engagement as the foundation for earning attention. We can pay for attention, but we can also earn it. Identifying opportunities to advance placemaking, deepen understanding, and reflect culture. And this was specific in our reply around the work to develop partnerships with artists and galleries, cultural organizations, educational institutions. This is the community, the sense of community that comes from those folks. Organizing events and other programming that promote engagement with the installations, and also to facilitate artist talks, workshops, and other events that connect artists to travelers. And then there's also the work that we actually look forward to, which is the government coordination, Airport Commission, Public Art Commission, all the approval laps that we know and love, understanding ordinances and requirements, and doing the coordination between folks for every installation we hope to begin shortly. And then finally, my wheelhouse here, in the work to build a remarkable place, marketing and PR's role is about amplifying remarkable experiences. And so we look forward to collaboration with the airport team to deliver on strategy that meets the requested support objectives, and then delivering with the tactical excellence to exceed expectations. This is the work that reinforces the glow of placemaking.
And lastly, we will develop, track, and manage the art program budget, including acquisition, installation, and operations. As I mentioned before, really navigating at several different sources of funds for the art program, keeping track of those separate approval processes, timeline. We'll provide quarterly reports on program status, budget use, and assist in any sort of sourcing of grants or sponsorship to continue to support and expand your art program. As I've mentioned earlier, we are excited and ready to begin work with you all. To kick off the project, we always have this first phase of discovery, really just getting on the ground, understanding the current landscape. We want to see what's happening with the current art program, meet with key stakeholders, review your relevant policies and processes. We'll work to identify the key budgetary considerations, review the larger scale construction timeline, and begin to identify efficiencies within that process. We look forward to connecting. I think you just selected, potentially have selected some folks that will be working on your expansion, the airport expansion team. So we want to have a clear understanding of how we integrate with that. And then within 6 months, we'll hope to have a more detailed work plan for the first year, and then set key milestones for year 2 and year 3. So again, thank you. We hope to exceed your expectations and advance the cultural heritage of the region through art. And with that, I'll take any questions.
I appreciate this. Questions, please.
One of the things that you mentioned was international, national, and local artists. The Coachella Valley, the Palm Springs, Rancho Mirage, is filled with artists. Plus our Native American friends have several noted artists. Why would we be looking for outside artists since we have such a rich and huge number of artists available in the area? That's a question.
Alex wants to, yep. And welcome others on the team to feedback. But generally, we look for local talent first, especially making sure that the artists that are there really feels like it's speaking to the representation of those that live there within the wider region. So we do have sensitivity to all of that, but we'll also push back a little bit and say, our local libraries are not just made up of local authors. Many times the music events we go to don't just have local musicians, right? So we all know that we are fed by hearing from different forms, from different artists, from different directions. So we'll look for a variety, making sure that we're having the right artists fit for the right opportunity. If there's a reason that we think there's a reason to go international or national, we'll want to have a case for that. But certainly, we will look for your local artists first and support them, the regional kind of artists, and those within the cultural institutions that are around as well. We also just want to stress, we don't feel like we want to feel limited by that. We want to make sure that we have the right artists as a fit for the airport as well.
Sure.
Thank you, and I'll interject a little bit. So if you'll recall, the way that our policy is written, a lot of setting the stage for how we select art actually goes through the working group first. So we'll be providing direction to creative services on what we would like to see, and then from there, they would go and do the work of actually figuring out what it is that will take place. So I just wanted to put that in to make sure that everybody understood that work happens at the local level first anyway.
Got it. Mr. Chairman, please.
Do I remember correctly that any approval of an installation would go through an approval process through this commission and the Arts Commission?
It goes to this commission. I'm not sure. Does it go to our
I think
commission?
there's a couple of folks on our commission that are part of that working
That's
group.
part of the
for that.
working group, but correct me if I'm wrong, we don't go to the Arts Commission, because
We
this
do
is
not
ours.
go to Arts Commission. It's a standalone commission for the airport. So that subcommittee is made up of 2 airport commissioners, 2 arts commissioners, either myself or a representative of the airport as voting members, and then group creative services would be the non-voting.
Thank you for that clarification. Talk to me about budget, both in terms of where's the money come from for this? And how much is there? And Tiva, did you have a sense of scope to do what you want to do over the next 3 years? How much money are you looking for? I know you said different funding sources, budgets, whatever. Can someone just address that? How much money do we have to contribute to this effort here?
Sure, I can start on the airport side. So we, for this biannual budget, we budgeted $400,000 in ongoing costs for group creative services. That can be amended as needed, but that is for their contract work. Separate from that, the airport has an internal policy that 1% of any capital project will go to an arts function. So for example, the outbound baggage handling system, as we're budgeting for that $70 million project, we would identify 1% of those funds to go to an arts project.
That's a good start. So that's fun. And is there enough? Just based on the research you've done on the airport funding sources, do you feel that there are enough funding opportunities and or budget to really make an impact over the 3 years?
That I think will be helpful to work with the design team. I think that our ideal way to integrate isn't to just come in at the very end and hope to plop something on a wall. We will look for efficiencies with the design team so that if they have areas that they're already needing to do something special to conceal something, maybe the concealing is part of what a public art project would be. So really being able to be part of that clay molding phase allows for some budget efficiencies on the art side of things. So it's probably too early for us to be able to tell you whether or not that's too low or too high to really get a good sense of where things are going from a design perspective. And we would look for the larger design team to kind of point to places where they either have pinch points that they need some creative solutions to, or ways in which we can look for those efficiencies. I would hope that in our 3-month update to you all, that we would start to be able to define some of those budgetary considerations.
Fair enough. Other questions? I know this is structured as a working group based on the policy right now. Considering the effort we've made over the last 2 years to try to get to this and take control of the art for the airport, does this warrant having a separate subcommittee? Do we treat it as a subcommittee or is a one-off working group like we do with the ad hoc group for concessions?
You can absolutely treat it as.
Okay. I'd like to see us do that because this is important to us. Other questions or comments?
Anyone from the public in the room wish to make a public comment? Anyone on Zoom, please raise your virtual Zoom hand. No public comments.
So tonight we're looking for support. This goes to City Council next, correct?
This would go to City Council on September 10th. So we're looking for the commission tonight to recommend the approval of the contract to City Council for a term of, for a term of 3 years beginning, well, it's gonna start after the City Council date, so beginning on September 10th and then ending September 2028. So we're asking for the commission to recommend the approval to City Council.
So before we ask for a motion, I want to do 2 things. One is, for those of you who are new, this is a huge milestone for us. 2.5 years ago, Commissioner Feldman and a handful of others spent a long time trying to identify existing art installations at the airport, working with the museum and others to try to improve the amount of art that we had and make sure that it's current and interesting. For a lot of reasons, we didn't make a lot of progress. We only had a mural that came out of that effort. And which started this effort to have our own arts commission for the airport. And when you put that next to our long-term plan and our vision for expanding the airport, we thought this was a really important opportunity to look at the bigger picture and the opportunity for us to make a statement with art in the airport, above and beyond anything else that happens in the city. You know, we are our own entity, different than the city of Palm Springs in that respect. So this is a huge milestone for us, and credit to a lot of commissioners and some former commissioners who patiently worked through this process and got us to where we are today. So be aware of that. This is a big deal for Palm Springs. I have a comment. And a comment, then I just want to go to you to just any final comments of why this room, based on your participation.
So we, in the city of Desert Hot Springs, we've actually had the privilege of dealing, well, I guess I should push this on, right? Go for it. Okay, so we've had the privilege, one more time, we've had the privilege of dealing with the mural program that we did. And when we tried to deal with what we had locally, there simply wasn't enough really of the caliber or the type of people that could do a full wall the size of a building and had that background. So we hired a curator to handle that. And what they ended up doing, the thing you have to remember is we're talking this is an international airport. It's not a local airport, it's an international, right? And so we're going to get all these different visitors here that are going to come from all over the place. And so we found this person, Casey, I don't remember his last name, is that he had this connection with all these different art people outside, you know, some of them in LA, San Diego, even out of state. But the great thing was that they came and they did these murals, which we have in town, and he's going to do another 15 we got. He's already done 12, is that they were people who did really famous stuff. So many of you might remember, trying to be non-political here, but you might remember the pastel color Obama one that was red, white, and blue. Well, that artist did a mural in our town. They have a following. And so the Instagram stuff coming from music and artists and stuff, and all of a sudden Desert Hot Springs just blasted. And now we've got all these people that have identified with it, and they tie it in with Palm Springs and Joshua Tree and all this really different kind of dynamic that is really interesting. And so when I see this, I see people who are outside the area, but they're going to see this, they're going to go, I know that artist, I know that person, and they're going to come and see that. And so we have to kind of think in a little more global sense. I can appreciate the local. The reality of it is I looked at the caliber of some of the art just in their pictures. I don't think of a variety of our local folks who will be capable of doing that because of the cost, the size, and machinery that's needed. But there's going to be some that are bigger that can handle this, and they're going to be very well known. And that's going to get just an unbelievable amount of free marketing press. You know, you're talking the Instagram people, and I'm not a big IG person, right? Except for Dixon shirts, which I like to wear. That's it. Okay, but they got like 5 million followers, and all of a sudden they're promoting Desert Hot Springs for free. You see, so we're going to get that, and it's just because it's somebody who's super well known in downtown LA or in San Diego or somewhere, or in Albuquerque or Santa Fe or something like that. So let's, you know, when we think about this, I understand, I appreciate the local aspect of it, and maybe we do some of that with some of the smaller room thing that we've got. But really think of it as the direct connect of just opening up bigger, because people will see that and go, hey, that airport's got this guy's artwork or this gal or this team's artwork. And they're going to want to fly there just to see it. And it'll be all over Instagram.
It is the opportunity.
And then your picture will be on.
And the Palm Springs Plaza Theater. Enough of that. Before we go to thank you for that. I think that's a really, really important thing. You and Christian, jump in if you want. Any final comments since you were part of this process, and just observations relative to this decision for the commission?
Thank you for that. So full disclosure, and I think the folks in this room know that Christian and I did sit in on the interviews. We were non-voting participants. We really participated from the standpoint of, you know, here, as Kevin mentioned just now, it's no secret, Palm Springs is pretty passionate about public art. We know that. And I think this group knows that as well. And I can see the nodding up here too. So we appreciate that. And just kind of threading the needle with what Dirk had just shared with Desert Hot Springs, there's a tremendous opportunity for us to have additional exposure that we wouldn't normally have with some of these upcoming art opportunities. So yeah, I think we had a very strong response to this RFP. It was not an easy process, I think, for those who did vote for this, but Group Creative did come out ahead and we're excited to move forward. I think it seems like this is a very professional group who is well-versed in navigating interesting challenges like ours. So I'm confident from that perspective. And I think there's a great opportunity for our working group to kind of get together and help shape that conversation as we move forward. So was there something, and Kevin, I wasn't prepared to speak, so I feel
No,
bad.
I wanted just to
Looking for
get
that?
you and Christian, since you
Okay.
represented our commission.
Sure.
Christian, any other comments you would build just in terms of you participating in this and the recommendation we're about to make?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I feel really privileged to have been a part of this and to listen in on this. And, I think both the RFP response and the interview, Group Creative did a really terrific job. It was thorough and impressive. And, they really brought a compelling story. I think for me personally, and I have lots of notes that I went through on this. And I think for me personally, though, it was, understanding the environment that they'd be working in, and not only how important the art is in that environment, but the process that, they have strong project management skills that includes coordinating with engineers and logistics. And that's really important for Harry and his team to have to work with in an airport environment, understanding that there are some restrictions and some things that make it a little more difficult than just plopping art down somewhere. And they conveyed that through their story that we heard. And I think that's why they're here. I think that's why they came out on the top as far as scoring goes. So again, I felt really privileged to be a part of it. And, thank you to them for all the great work that they provided.
Well, thank you to both, and also to Harry and team for opening up this process and including us in that process.
Commissioner Corcoran, I would also like to thank staff, Christina Brown. She couldn't be here today because her father passed away over the weekend, but she helped us tremendously with putting everything together, and she's going to be the point of contact for liaison for the airport going forward. So just want to say thank you to Christina Brown for also helping us put this through. And I can go ahead and reread the motion so that everybody's clear what exactly we're asking for the commission tonight. We're asking this action will recommend to the city council the approval of contract services agreement number 25 P as in Papa 214 with Group Creative Services LLC for art curator consulting services for the Palm Springs International Airport in an amount not to exceed $425,000 for 3 years, with a term beginning on September 10th, 2025 through September 9th, 2020.
Motion, please.
Before we go to that real quick, just any public comments, just because we kind of had a discussion about it further.
Sorry, Tom.
No, it's fine. Anyone on Zoom, please raise your virtual Zoom hand. Anyone in the room? No public comments. Thank you. Now.
Motion, please. Second. Roll call, please.
Burke,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Fong,
Aye.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Park,
Yes.
Sam Lanska,
Yes.
Shuffler,
Yes.
Valdez,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
and yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. We can't wait to work with you. Just to build on one comment that Ken Hendrick said, this you'll learn if you have it in your research. This is a community that is very passionate about design, about art. Everyone's got a point of view. We're here to help you connect with the community and take us to another level. So congratulations. Thank you to staff.
Thank you.
Everybody else that did this, and we will enthusiastically take this to city council, and we can't wait to see what you guys can do. So thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to being there and working with you all.
All right,
Thanks so much.
passes. Another milestone for our commission. This is great. All right, transitioning to action minutes.
Yes.
Alia.
So just to kind of give you some history on this, on September 9th, 2021, the city council transitioned to action minutes to streamline meeting documentation. In April 2024, the city clerk's office recommended the airport commission do the same to align with the city council practices and reduce staff time. Currently, it takes approximately 2 hours per page of summary minutes. At the time, airport staff noted that poor audio quality in the conference room at the airport made that transition challenging. However, since the commission's meetings are temporarily being held at City Hall's large conference room with a higher quality AV system and the airport's own conference room currently under remodel to include a new state-of-the-art AV system, staff is now recommending that commission move from semi-verbatim minutes to action minutes moving forward. Everybody's okay with that? We're looking to proceed with that moving forward.
Do we vote on this?
We can take a motion.
So we all understand why we're doing this, because you saw this enormous package of minutes.
We proceed with a motion. Just need to ask, is there any questions from any questioners? Any questions from the public in the room wish to make a public comment? Anyone on Zoom, please raise your virtual Zoom hand.
Just one comment on this. These detailed minutes are incredible and obviously incredibly labor intensive, but anyone can come and see the video of our meetings. So even though we're truncating this into action minutes, similar to city council, when we move back to our newly renovated conference room, the quality of the AV system will ensure that if someone wants to see all the nuances behind our discussions, they can still see it. There'll just be a higher quality video and audio. And that's the trade-off here. I want to make sure we made that point why we're moving now. And we haven't done it before because we didn't have the quality. And that's what we're doing. Make sense?
Yeah, I just want to be clear. Do we need a motion? Is this an action? I mean, this is going to happen regardless. Is this a receive and file?
We could do it as receive and file, or we could take a motion just to everybody be on the same page to approve it.
Well, I just want to make sure that if we're taking a vote, that it's because we need to take a vote, not because we're looking for consensus. I just want to be very clear about that. I don't know what
I would recommend taking a motion and voting on this one since we're establishing a policy. We're going forward with what the city council is doing. So yeah, I would take a motion in a second here since we're updating policy.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll make a motion that we go to action minutes and be in compliance with what the council's recommending.
So move, or I'll second that.
All right. Vote please.
Perfect. So it's Burke,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Fong,
Aye.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Park,
Yes.
Sam Lanska,
Yes.
Shuffler,
Yes.
Eldez,
Yes.
Voss,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
and Young.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, what are you going to do with all that extra time?
Find something. Thank you.
Can you work on the lounge? That's great. Okay, next one is restructuring and appointment of committee members. Do you want to talk about this? Sure.
You can go ahead and talk.
Okay. To the back of your packet, there's the existing committee assignments. And when we bring on new commissioners and we have re-election of officers, Todd and I will redo or update this list. So I'm not asking for updates right now, but if you want to, especially our new commissioners, let us know, send us an email about which subcommittees you would like to join, and we'll take that in consideration. For existing members, if you want to change one of the subcommittees, just send us a note, an email, and at our next meeting, we will update this list, right? With just a couple notes. Christian, we found out today that you have to be on the noise committee for ordinance, so we're thrilled to announce that you'll be joining the noise committee. I know you're happy about that. And Dirk, we haven't assigned you yet, but we will. So for all the committee members, look at the list, let us know. And just per the earlier conversation with Harry, we're going to add art curation is another subcommittee. So obviously we have 2 slots on that. If you're interested, let us know, raise your hand. And Todd and I will work on this. If we have any questions, we'll get back to you. And we'll update this whole list and announce the committee assignments at our next meeting. Anything else, Todd, on that?
No, the number that you see along the top is the maximum number that we can have on those committees.
Okay. Questions? We good?
If they'd like further information about what the committees are, there is also information in the receive and file section that provides a description of each committee.
I know some people asked for that last time, so thank you for including that. That's great.
Once we make the decision on what we'd like to do, the best way to convey that to someone is to you.
Email me.
Email you. Got it.
Todd and I. The deal is the chair and the co-chair make the assignments.
I want to make sure I get the order right. Is it Kevin Todd, Todd Kevin? Just want to make sure.
Very important. Very important. It's a very good question. Very insightful for your first meeting. If you send it to us both, we'll make sure you get it.
Thank you.
All right, marketing update. Daniel, Jake.
Oh, do we have any public comments for this section? Anyone on Zoom wish to make a public comment? Please raise your virtual Zoom hand. Anyone in the room? No public comment. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Don. Good evening, everybody. So I'm going to have Jake is going to steer for. We're going to do a presentation on the screen because I had to make some updates to my presentation after it had been emailed out. So we need to ensure the public have access to it. So if it's the last few slides will be available on the screen instead of in your packets. So to start off with updates on our passenger counts and air service. June was another great month for us. We have total passengers of total passenger count, 139,720, which is a 6.1% increase over 2024. I will say though, since the last 5 months, the first 5 months of the year were a record. I was looking for another record in June, but not every month can be a record. The record June month actually belongs to 2022, but still is positive growth over last year. So I also want to give kudos to my team, to Jake and Stephen. We were reviewing the way we do our advertising and marketing for the airport, and I gave them direction to refocus our advertising on more promoting summer travel from Palm Springs and promoting that you can get anywhere from the world in PSP, even in summertime when many of our seasonal routes are down. And so we're seeing the increase in passenger traffic through May and June, July holds on. Because I know that's it's very important that we do that. I've directed them to do that because we increase the passengers in summer. We show demand in summer for Palm Springs, which helps my work in air service development, getting more year-round routes, especially Atlanta, New York, Chicago year-round, like I know we all want. Those are goals. So I'm definitely working towards that. And I'm happy to see some of our my team's efforts in their marketing is working. This week, United Airlines announced they're starting seasonal service to Newark. Liberty International Airport is primarily daily seasonal service. And I say primarily because while the flights start on December 18th, they will be daily until January 6th. And through March 4th, there will be no flights on Tuesday and Wednesday because those are low days, low travel days. So we're going to do 5 days a week in that period. And then we get on March 5th through April 29th, it'll operate daily again. Most of the flights, they will actually, all the flights will be arriving midday, sometime arrival between 11:30 and noon, and they'll be departing between 12:30 and 2 p.m. depending on the month because the schedules do vary.
But is that restriction, that January to March restriction, is that just for Newark?
Oh, it's not a,
Not restriction, but I mean, the fact that it's going from 7 days to 5 days a week, is that just for the Newark destination?
Yeah, for Newark on this one, yes, not all United routes. They're doing also Newark. And they're gonna do some adjustments on Dulles as well. Like Tuesdays and Wednesdays are just shoulder days. They're not big for travel really to any airport. So just to ensure good profitability of it, they want to just trim some of those in the lighter travel periods. And of course, in their heavier travel periods, they will ramp back up. So
What kind of equipment is United be using for here?
737 MAX nights. Of course, well, that's subject to change depending on what United wants to schedule. That's originally what they announced, though.
Okay.
Also, additionally, Velo Airlines unfortunately has made the decision to end all of their West Coast operations by closing their last aircraft base in Burbank. So that means we will be losing Velo as an airline and also nonstop service to Bend, Redmond, Oregon, and Santa Rosa from Palm Springs. I've already began reaching out to other airlines as a potential replacement, and I'm happy to announce I have secured a meeting next week with an airline that is interested in operating Santa Rosa for us. So I do have that on the table. Hopefully, wish me luck next week. Bend Redmond will be a little bit more difficult to return nonstop service to simply because of the size of the market and seasonality. And being its location, you have to find a very unique airline to operate that. And I feel like Avelo is probably one of not many that really could have operated that. So Santa Rosa, I'm pretty confident we can get back. Redmond, question mark. Let's see. Moving on, just additional update on our arriving Canadian seats that are currently scheduled. Not too, some slight changes, some slight increases on the slight increase to the decreases of flights going into season. August is down 19%, but the 19% does sound large. It's only 3 flights total for the month that we're missing. Same for September. October, they have increased a little bit. We'll be losing 20 of our flights from Canada, or a little over 2,600 seats. November's down 6.6%, or 10 flights. And then December's down 1.4%, or 3 flights currently. I do want to say I might expect that December number to increase slightly, because if you recall, the last couple of months we reviewed these numbers, they were smaller. The decreases weren't as high. This kind of takes me back to COVID times when airlines were looking more close in at the flights and seeing what the booking data was, and they were canceling closer in when they see that maybe a flight's not going to have enough people on it, so it's not operating at a loss or just canceling it. So a lot of that's kind of what we're hearing Canadian airlines are doing right now. I do want to note though that even though we are down compared to 2024, if you look at the chart on the right, we are actually up compared from September through December. We are currently scheduled to be up over where we were in 2023. So we were down slightly from last year, but still up ahead of where we were 2 years prior to that. Canadian Airlines have announced some new cities. I will note they were not in the United States because Canadian demand is transferring from the US to mainly Latin America, the Caribbean, and other markets. So this kind of look ahead of where we are right now. But the next slide, what I will say, even though we are down in Canadian seats, overall in the airport, we are looking very good from capacity. Total capacity, we're being boosted by domestic capacity. August, we're up 9% in seats. September, we're up 7.4%. We're up 4.6% seats in October, up 9.4% in December, and currently up 10.7% in November. So even with the loss of Avelo and the reduction in Canadian seats, we are still going to be up because we have United adding capacity. We have Frontier Airlines in the market. United actually happy to announce, I forgot to put in here, but United's going to be bringing LAX. They're going to start running double daily in certain times of year, so additional LAX connectivity, which would be great for Trans-Pacific connections, additional capacity. And then, well, let's see. Yes, and then Frontier planes are over 250 some passengers on there, and so they will be doing that. So we're still looking good. So overall, while Canadian seats are down, I know how important that is to the valley, at least from the airport perspective, we should be looking okay throughout the rest of the year. And I am encouraged by what I've seen so far. So next up, the winglet that was installed in the Agua Caliente concourse. You look in the photo in the bottom right, the signage has been installed from the Air Museum. On the right, there's a portion of plaque about PSP. On the left, on the right is about the museum, and the center is about the designer of the winglet story. If I remember correctly, he's from the Coachella Valley, right? Yes. So yes. So that's installed. Something else very exciting. If you guys saw the news, we'll be spreading the word through our newsletter, do some other publicity very soon on this. Washington Post named PSP a top 50 U.S. airport out of 450 airports surveyed. Congratulations everybody on hard work on that. The travelers, their most common comments that they valued the easy access of Palm Springs, clear navigation, good food and shopping. So congratulations for everybody who worked on the concessions program. On-time flights and those hard-to-find quirks that give an airport personality. I think we all agree our airport has a lot of personality. It's great. And just a little bit of information, Washington Post, the feedback they used was from readers, Yelp reviews, and airport data to create their list is how they did that. So. And then lastly, which is not in your packet, it's on the screen, something I added as well. I kind of been looking ahead, since we're going to be off in August for summer break. We'll be coming in September. We'll be bringing to you a new advertising agency. We did a competitive RFP process that has been completed. The evaluation panel selected a new agency to be coming on board. This agency helps with all our external advertising. So basically mine and my team's efforts to get more people to fly from PSP, that's what this agency will help us do. We're going to take that to the marketing committee on September 9th for their review, and pending that review, bringing that to the full commission on September 17th. If commission approves and recommends approval to city council, we will take it to council on September 24th. And have the new agency start on October 1st and do a transition with our existing agency and then full turnover by the first of the new year.
What's the number on that, Daniel? The contract.
Okay, my media buying budget is $1 million. It's approximately there for, so we're not paying them a commission on media. So basically we have a budget and they charge us a percentage for their HC creative fees. And it's 18%. I think it's 176,000 the first year. I'm doing my numbers right, or 180,000. Yeah, approximately.
Thank you.
Yeah, on the media though, it will have the details in the September commission for you guys. We're not paying commissions on media buying, so 100% of my media budget will go to buying actual advertising, which I think is better said. It's updating the guest experience plan. They are working on wrapping that up. They're going to do a review on August 12th with the airport executive team, the chair, marketing committee chair, and the vice chair of the commission. Following that review, we'll take their feedback and any adjustments we ask them to make. The final plan, they'll be coming to the commission meeting in September and giving you guys a presentation on the final plan and their research and how they got to where they are and the decisions they made. And then we plan to start implementation last quarter of this year. And I put 2024, it should have been 2025. Apparently I'm stuck in last year. Sorry about that. Something else, internal advertising concessions. Now, internal advertising concessions, that is Fuse Connect. You guys just saw here earlier today. We have a new policy we're bringing up for discussion and approval. We took it to the marketing committee and then we sent it to city legal, got some feedback. So airport staff is looking at that. I'm going to bring it back to the commissioner for review and a potential approval. And that policy is basically outlining if we have naming rights deals or sponsorships that come to us and thresholds, and it outlines the review process and the approval process to say yay or nay to somebody who may want to put their name on a portion of the airport. This outlines a formal policy for us. We'll also be doing, I'm also working with Fuse to review some potential new revenue opportunities to add what are my favorite non-airline revenues. The more non-airline revenue we add, the easier my job becomes in getting more airlines and more air service for us. So a couple of potentials, we have some additional digital screens. We talked about the Cactus to Clouds, integrating a few paid advertisements in that. Something with our new Wi-Fi, if you guys have been to the airport and use that, the new landing page where we're actually getting a lot of good demographic data for air service development. There's opportunities to put advertising on there as well. So we're getting information from Cisco Systems, and I'll be getting that over to Fuse to see maybe get an estimate on what the potential revenue streams could be and if there's any potential people might want to purchase that advertising space. So I'll be bringing that, probably some information to you guys in September. And then just more on guest experience. So we have the guest experience plan in process, but guest experience itself, we can still work on that even though the formal plan may not be complete. We have additional signage at the request of Chair Commissioner Corcoran. Additional signage communications will be coming for escalators and the elevator. So right now, you just know the elevators are being replaced in the moment. So we do have porters out there to help people with their baggage. So we are working, my staff is working with other airport staff to get new signage out there, just saying, basically pardon our dust, but here, look for the people in the red shirts that can help you with your bags up the stairs because they can't use the escalator there or the elevator. They can't carry their luggage. We'll have people there available. Make it very obvious where they are. And then also we'll have additional signage reversed when the escalators go out, and we'll have them there to help with the stairs as well, and then the elevators. We'll be working on a plan to make sure a good customer experience for those with luggage trying to get up the Sunny Bono concourse. And then last, but certainly not least, I think many will be excited about the Quiet Airport program. This actually stems back maybe to late 2023 when Gerald Adams was on the commission and brought the idea of a Quiet Airport from SFO to us. And we started looking at it, and that kind of stemmed the idea to start a guest experience program and started the whole process where we are with the guest experience plan working on right now. I tasked my staff with Jake, and also he's working with Josue, who you met earlier today. They've been doing the research from the SFO and having many phone calls, and they started to switch to a Quiet Airport started this month. We're starting with the wheelchair claims. So if you're at the airport, you hear so many pages for wheelchairs. That is being transitioned from public address to handheld radios in a dispatch system. So much better. We'll be reducing access to full terminal pages for airlines, basically just reducing a lot of the different maybe necessary or unnecessary pages in certain parts of the terminal. I know through Jake and Josue's research, they told me that SFO, when they measured, if I remember correctly, that they actually reduced their daily announcements by a total of 3 hours worth of announcements were cut out of their announcement at the airport. And so Though we're to be rolling that out, we're starting to roll it now, roll to airlines this fall, and then in September, when everything's ready to fully implement, we'll bring more details to you guys in September. And show you how it's working and be full implementation by October, is that correct? So, that's what we have to look forward from hearing about us in September. Any questions?
Questions? Take a breath.
I had a lot this month.
Questions?
Anyone from the public wish to make a public comment online, please raise your virtual Zoom hand. It looks like we have one question. Daniel Caldwell?
No, no question.
I
Oh.
think it's me. It's
Oh,
Christian.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. So just a quick question for you. I think right now, I mean, this is mostly all good news, which is great. For me right now, the question is around service and potential future service. I believe in the summertime, as far east as we go is probably Denver and Dallas. Is there any hope or any initiatives to draw an airline to continue further east during the summer timeframe?
Just to make sure I answer that. Am I allowed to answer the question?
No.
Hey, right, okay, yes, I know before the, okay. You're asking if we're trying to we're having issues to get service beyond Denver and Dallas in the summertime, was that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, actually, as I mentioned earlier, never want to say fly local, because the more demand we have from Palm Springs, don't go to LAX. I also make my case to the airlines. We're trying to secure year-round Chicago service, Atlanta, and New York. So we are in discussions, always making pitches to the airlines that currently serve those routes to add summer service. Actually, I was at a conference, Airport Council International, their Jumpstart Air Service Development Conference last month, and just spoke with, made pitches to Delta, American, United, all to extend their Atlanta, New York, and respective Chicago service to year round. And so we keep making those pitches. In Chicago, they've kind of closed in. The summer break isn't as long as it was, but we are definitely working to do that.
Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you.
Other comments and questions?
Just a quick comment. Credit to Daniel and the team. I know you don't toot your own horn that much, but we know that you are working really hard behind the scenes, and it's also incumbent upon us as commissioners and also ambassadors to some degree to PSP to let our neighbors know. Fly local, do your searches on flypsp.com, because Daniel and the team can take that data and make the case back to the airlines, and that's really helpful. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And to build on that, thank you for what we're going to call the concierge business. The more visibility to people and making people aware of helping folks up and down the stairs. I know that Councilman Reddy will be happy about that development as well as we change the escalators and the elevators in the next year. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Any other questions before we move on?
Anyone from the public on Zoom, please raise your virtual Zoom hand. Anyone in the room? No public comments.
Victoria.
All right, good evening, commissioners. Can you promote a meeting so I can start my screen, please? So this evening in your packet, you're gonna see the financial summary ending June 30th, 2025. The city has the fiscal year for the city ends on June 30th. However, there's still lots of accounting entries that need to happen. So we won't officially know our audited numbers until the audit is fully completed. So this is just a snapshot in time of when we actually ran this financials on July the 9th. I will just high level go over each different fund that we have. As you are aware or may know, but then again, we do have some new commissioners. The airport has a total of 4 funds. 2 of the funds are considered restricted funds, meaning that they're only allowed to be utilized for specific infrastructure as it relates to passenger facility charges and customer facility charges. So there, I will go over that into a little bit more detail. But let me share my screen here. Fantastic. So our customer facility charge fund, this is a fee that the airport collects based off of the transactions or the rental car transactions that happen at our rental car facility. So we collect a total of $9 per transaction up to 5 days, so we can collect $45 on vehicle rentals. And so as we know, it's about 52% of the collections that we get for the rental car company. So that's one fee that we collect that we're able to utilize towards consolidated rental car or a rental center for the future. So we're collecting those fees for that. So when you see our the page that is our Fund 405, you'll see that there is a surplus of 9.2 million. That is, when you compare that to our budget, we're about 98% of our budget, and we are still posting fees for the year. We're not fully done with that yet. So so that we intend on that to increase as well for the year. Our passenger facility charges, that's another restricted fund where the airlines remit to us up to $18 for fees for passenger tickets. We can utilize that for infrastructure that is approved by the FAA. So we are federally regulated. We have to go through FAA for the approval of particular projects. And we also have to work with our airlines on that. So we have a year-to-date actual of about 6 million of a surplus. We are anticipating some expenses to hit that account for our principal and interest because we do have debt service that we have on our 2019 bonds. When you look at our Fund 415, that's our main airport operation and maintenance, similar to what the city has for the general fund. And we're showing that we have a surplus of 15.4 million. So we take our revenues minus our expenses, and that is our surplus. Again, we are still anticipating additional posts to happen with our finance team, so we anticipate that number adjusting. Again, we won't know the final audited numbers until the audit is completed. And then our Fund 416 is our capital projects fund. So you'll see that we have a surplus of about 9.3 million. Essentially, anytime we have any, if we need to fund our capital projects, we end up pulling money from or cash from our Fund 415 to help support our Fund 416. So we'll pull that from our reserves from 415 and move it into 416 to help fund our capital projects. So that's why you see a 9.3 million surplus there for capital projects. So this concludes my presentation in regards to the financial summary. We can come back to you at a later time once the audited financials are completed and do a synopsis, a recap of what all of our final numbers are when that's done. I know that the finance department is really pushing to get the audit completed later this year, but no later than December 31, 2025. I also want to do a real quick high-level overview of our budget, our 2026 and 2027 budget that was presented to City Council. I want to show that to the Airport Commission at the request of Commissioner Corcoran so that we can just maybe explain it a little differently, or at least show it on the screen a little differently of what we're anticipating. Because we did, when we presented to City Council, we had rolled up all 4 of our funds together. And so we wanted to just show you what our operating account is for our Fund 415 to show what we are going to be anticipating for the next year. And just do a little bit of an explanation of what why we do a transfer out of our Fund 415 into our Fund 416 and what that looks like. So let me share my screen again. So when you see the screen up there, you see fiscal year 25 and 26. So this is showing our operating revenues, our expenditures, what our surplus is anticipated to be. And then we do have to do a revenue share with our airlines. So there's a 50% revenue share with our airlines that we do at the end of the year after the audit is completed. And then if there's any surplus or deficit, then the surplus goes into our 1 day's cash on hand, and then 2, we use that for our capital projects. So if you look at fiscal year 2026, you'll see that we're anticipating about 54.5 million in revenues and about 49.5 million in expenditures. We're anticipating a surplus of about 5 million. And that number of expenditures does include our depreciation. We've removed what is considered our, actually, I don't know if I removed it from this one. Our transfers from our fund 415 into our fund 416. Essentially, that's just a fund balance transfer. So right now, with just our revenues and expenses, it's a $5 million surplus. Then we have that with the airlines. We're anticipating about 2.5 million, and we're anticipating a surplus of 2.5 million. For fiscal year 2027, we're anticipating a little bit of an increase. So our revenues are 55.2 million, and then our expenditures about 50.5 million, with still a surplus of about 5 million, and sharing that 2.3 with the airlines and 2.3 staying with the airport. When you look at our fund balance, you'll see that we're expected to start the fiscal year with about $60 million in our fund balance. Again, you'll see the revenues, the expenses, and then whatever our surplus is anticipating to be, the 5 million with our revenue share, and then our transfers out to capital. So essentially, the transfers from capital is coming from our fund balance, and that's to help support our projects that we have planned for the next upcoming years. One of the big ones that we have planned is the baggage handling system. That's a project that, even though we are getting about $60 million in federal funding, we're still anticipating that the airport has to cover a large substantial cost out of our fund balance. I want to say it was about 33 million of what we are anticipating to cover for that project. And then we do have like the breach gate that we're looking for to completing. We also have the escalators, about I think it was about $2 million that we anticipate that needing to be completed. So all of that will come out of our fund 415 fund balance, and the transfer will go into our capital account. Okay, that completes the presentation. Does anybody have any questions? Commissioner Collins?
Yeah, the airline revenue share that comes out of 415?
Correct.
And how is that apportioned? Is that by seats, by passengers per year? What is the basis for it?
By passengers, the in-plane passengers.
Can you explain how revenue is generated through the general aviation line?
General aviation is through custom fees. So anytime that general aviation aircraft is being inspected, they pay a fee. The FBO pays a fee, and that is how the fees are generated.
You collect a landing fee from the airlines. Do you collect a landing fee from general aviation?
No.
That's interesting. Why is that?
Yeah.
We do not have a contract to do that, but it's something that we could potentially look into.
It's lucrative, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's in part because we have some agreements that have been in place for a long time that allow the FBOs to collect on that. So as those agreements come to term, we'll be looking at ways to change those agreements.
So does the FBO set the terms, or does the airport set the terms?
The airport set the terms 20 years ago, but we still have to.
When does that run out?
I think Signature still has what, 8 years, 15 years, something like that. And Atlantic is a little bit longer.
It's an interesting dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah, generally West Coast airports, I don't like to say all, but generally West Coast airports don't really charge landing fees. East Coast airports charge landing fees.
For
And you-
private, for private.
Yeah, yeah, you can, yes. Single engine airplanes all the way to corporate jets. And it's based on basically the weight of the airplane, the size of the airplane. I can tell you that going to places like Teterboro, New Jersey, LaGuardia, any of those places, landing fees are substantial. It is and you got billionaires and big companies that have $70-80 million airplanes, they don't blink an eye when you charge them $250 or whatever it is they charge for a landing fee. It's the cost of doing business. It's a huge revenue opportunity. Our hands are tied, our hands are tied. But I was looking at that number going, it's a pretty low number considering the number of corporate jets we get that come in and out of this airport.
And right now, what is the ratio between commercial and GA right now? Roughly?
I believe it's actually in our packet. If we look at the end words and about our aircraft activity, I believe it's in there. Oh, never mind.
You have a ballpark?
Let's see this.
So overall, annually, we do about 80,000 movement a year, about 60,000 of that is commercial and the rest is GA.
Can you break that down even further into mid-size, large cabin jets versus single engine, twin engine airplanes?
We have that data, I just don't have.
It'd be interesting to see that number.
It would be interesting to see.
Yeah, because I think a majority of the single engine probably goes to Bermuda Dunes and Thermal, unless they're coming here. Majority of the corporate jets go here or Thermal, depending on the venue. You know, you do Coachella Fest or maybe even the tennis tournament, but yeah.
You know, for our next meeting, let's add that on. And we'll review the whole thing and the length of these agreements and everything else, because I'm surprised. I didn't realize that's how it was structured. So can you get us smart about that at our next meeting?
We can do that. Thank you. Commissioner Hall.
No.
Nothing?
Can you just clarify for the public? You know, I watched City Council go through this whole process in your presentation to them. Can you clarify all the revenues that drive everything we do here are generated at the airport, and there is no taxpayer money that comes to this airport? Palm Springs taxpayer money. Is that right?
That is correct.
Do we all understand that? So when people have a point of view about whatever money you're spending, that's often you see that online in social networks and others about how are they spending our tax dollars? No tax dollars participate in this airport.
That is correct.
All make sense?
Okay. Commissioner Corcoran, if I may add, if you guys remember Progress PSP, that we launched Progress PSP. We in all those different projects, we put on there the funding sources, and we always highlight that no local tax dollars were used in this. And we talk about capital improvement. We stress that we are self-supporting. We're not using local tax dollars to help try and reinforce that with the public.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, Victoria, future council actions. I think they're all listed here. Does anyone have any?
Before we move on, do we have any public comments from anyone in the room?
Anybody on budget?
Anyone on Zoom wish to make a public comment? Please raise your virtual Zoom hands. No public comments.
Thank you. Victoria, any highlights on stuff going to city council? That's in our packet.
We currently don't have any highlights. Is there anything, Mr. Barrett, that you'd like to highlight, or Mr. Valencia Miller, anything you'd like to highlight?
Just a correction. The custom fee, which is listed there, custom administration fee adjustment will not be going to city council. That is a user fee from the airport and is under the airport user fee schedule that is currently being updated.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Anyone from the public wish to make a public comment? Anyone on Zoom, please raise your virtual Zoom hand, wish to make a public comment? No public comments.
Carmen, let's get an update, please.
Emergency project manager, I'll provide you some updates on the project and capital upgrade. The first project is our Dono Concourse Escalator. As you remember last month, our on-call engineering services RSNH did a detailed presentation on what's going on with our escalator. and what's the best option. So the commission gave us a guidance to proceed with the interest modification. We are moving forward with that. Currently, we reviewed their proposal and we are actually in the process of issuing a task order. And we're expecting a kickoff meeting to be happening in August. The proposal that they have provided us will do a detailed equipment survey on our current escalators, along with providing project management, some documentation preparation for our biddings, and also supporting the airport throughout the bidding process. And once we select a vendor, they will also help as a construction administrator. So we are excited to have our kickoff meeting in August, and the proposed schedule we have is that we should have some bids selected by January 2026. The second project is a Measure J project, which is a shared structure over at TNCs and taxis. We shared with the commission the dollar amounts that will be needed to do. So we have a conceptual design to do the structure, which is 5 on TNCs and 2 on taxis, range anywhere from $900,000 to $2.5 million. One of the detailed discussion that happened during that time was that as our master plan and some relocation is happening with our rental car facilities, this would be a short time investment. We were asked to find out what that timeline looks like. So this morning we had a kickoff meeting with our on-call planning, engineering, and architect firm to discuss our 2-year plannings on the projects. So one of the aspects that we have given them that how sequencing looks like. So when is the rental car moving from the current location to the overflow location, and how it affects the structures or the shade structures, and what the timeline is. During our next meeting in September, we should have that timeline for the structure and also for the sequencing, like a more visual guidance that we can provide you, that how our projects are coming towards master plan is in outline. So in next commission meeting, we should have this answer. The next one is our outbound baggage handling replacement. So last month, if you remember, there was a protest on this that has been resolved, and during our July 9th City Council meeting, contract has been approved. Currently, we are working with the contractor to execute the contract, and also we are lining up some grants. There are some FAA and TSA grants. And also in parallel, we have a construction management company that city has approved 2 years ago, I guess. So we actually got a proposal from them. So our goal is that as our grants are lining up, as our contract and notice to proceed is going, so we have our construction management company in line. So when we have pre-construction meeting, so we have everything ready to hit this project hard.
Armin, is that Dudak?
Sorry, sir?
Was Dudak selected to be the
Federal contractor?
Yeah.
Is the Swingerton, is the company that we have selected.
But who's the company that's being
For construction management?
Yeah.
That's Mead and Hunt.
Mead and Hunt, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's one of the leading company in the aviation industry. The next one is our restaurant renovation. So I'm happy to announce that we are actually working on a kickoff meeting. So we actually have executed a task order to Gensler, our on-call architect, and last week of July or sometime early August, we should have a kickoff meeting. This project will be designing the restrooms at the Sunny Bono concourse along with the courtyard area restroom. So we will be working on this and keep the council up, letting you guys know how the progress is made.
So questions on that. What is the timeline that you set for Gensler for this?
The Gensler gave us a timeline is about close to 50 weeks. That less than a year is because that includes the conceptual design, the schematic design, and also for the bidding and permitting part of it. And as I mentioned to the commission during the last meeting also, that we are on our kickoff meeting, one of our goals is to how we can make that timeline, decrease that timeline. It's just the process of permitting, bidding itself takes about 2 to 3 months. And then there are different levels of designs that they are doing to us. And there could be some structural work also that they have to design, especially on the courtyard area also. So we can give you all the details once we start engaging our on-call architect, and we'll keep you in know.
So we'll see construction within a year.
Should start.
Worst case.
Yeah. And as I said, the project, when it starts, we will give you all the updates that we have as we progress.
Fair enough.
The next one is another Measure J project, is our mid-century concrete, benches and some planters. We are on schedule to get them delivered by mid-August, and those will be placed right at the Bexar entrance as it was shown to the commission, I think when this particular project came to fruition. The last one is purchase of our 8 EV trucks, pickup trucks. So we have actually selected a contractor. We will be going in front of the city city council in September, city meeting. So everything is in line. Once we have that approval and we sign the contract, I will share the timeline when those trucks are expected to be delivered. So we're very excited to take 8 gas-powered pickup trucks and looking more positive to sustainability and have some EV trucks. With this, any question? Maybe answer.
Questions for Harmon, please. Any questions from the public?
In the room on Zoom, please raise your virtual Zoom hand. No public comments.
Thank you, Harmon. Thank you. Thank you so much. Harry?
Thank you, Chair Corcoran. So, on our executive report, there are a couple of things that are not included in all the specifics. But the one thing I wanted to touch on was something that Harmon mentioned a little bit earlier, the outbound baggage handling system. Obviously, that is a major project for the airport. It will have substantial disruption involved, a lot of phasing, a lot of logistics going into that project. We're targeting starting that project this fall. I just wanted to kind of give you a lay of the land and what the plan looks like for us right now. Obviously, we're still awaiting grants for that. Those grants are expected to drop in late September. But in the meantime, what we're doing is we're starting to schedule a series of meetings with stakeholders to have discussions about what that process looks like, what areas will be impacted, and what the communication plan will be, most importantly, for the public and passengers. So I think we've got 3 meetings scheduled between now and in early September. We expect to have those grants in September. I'm anticipating that we'll probably kick off with utilities work somewhere around the October timeframe. You'll probably not notice that piece of it. A lot of it is behind the scenes. But as we start to get into the spring of next year, you'll start to see us turning dirt on that project. So I wanted to make sure to highlight that because I think the community is going to need to be aware that there will be some disruption. We'll try and manage that as best as possible, but it will be a significant project for the airport, much like the ticketing project that we did a few years ago. The other piece of that, though, is we're beefing up our staff. Obviously, we've got Ryan on board now. Meeting is managing that project. And we are also working on bringing on a program management consultant for all capital planning that will help us to not only work on managing the projects, but also identifying funding resources and delivery methodologies. So beefing up the staff as much as possible to manage the process as much as possible. Our intent is to provide reports to the commission and to the council as frequently as we can. We got that direction last week from the council, so you'll see some of that from the airport as well. So that's on the outbound baggage handling side. What's not in my report, recently Congress adopted a resolution, budget resolution, the big beautiful bill, but it had a lot of good things in there for airports. For example, it kept in place the tax exempt status on bonds for airports. It provided additional funds for runway safety, air traffic modernization, provided an AIP increase. AIP is the Airport Improvement Program that's through the Airport Airway Trust Fund. So that went from $3.5 billion to $4 billion. But one key component of that is it also added 5,000 additional Customs and Border Protection officers to the budget. Why is that important? Because we're working on an FIS strategy, and part of our challenge was figuring out how we were going to get officers when there are airports who have existing FISs who have an officer shortage. So we've been working with InterVistas, who's our consultant, who's working on the CBP strategy, and they are developing a formal request to Customs and Border Protection for the FIS. They're including language that would request some of those officers, those 5,000 officers that were added to the budget for PSP. Also, the big beautiful bill included funding for the Olympics and for the World Cup. There's also an opportunity there for us to leverage those funds. So we are working with our consultants on leveraging those as well. So I just wanted the commission to be aware of what's happening.
Terry, how many officers do we think we need here?
We are looking at 8 officers based on the schedules that we have.
And if we got the approval for those officers, we would set up temporary facilities quickly to milk this and get the new airlines in.
Yeah, so the officers are a part of the puzzle. The other part is the facility itself, how do we fund the facility, where it's sited, and ensuring that Customs and Border Protection is comfortable with it not being a temporary facility for the better part of 20 years, because they've been burned by that in the past. So we're working through those processes as well.
Exciting.
But how much time would they give us? They give us 8 officers if we're not ready. We're not gonna let them just sit around.
Yeah, we have to demonstrate that we've got the demand. So we're working with the airlines and all these different Palm Springs is helping us in that effort. We're reaching out to the airlines independently. The conference that Daniel alluded to that he went to a month ago, he's been talking up, hey, we're working on these plans. So start thinking about what international air service looks like in Palm Springs.
Big deal.
In other news, so the state of California, there's an assembly bill right now, 1150, that proposes an alternative customer facility charge. If you recall, California is, I think, the only state with a cap on its customer facility charge for rental car transactions. This bill would propose to increase that from $9 a day or $45 per transaction, $12 a day, and add language that allows airports to use that for maintenance as well as construction and design of facilities. And so we've been very aggressive about working with data strategies and going and talking to the members about, we support this bill, please push this forward. We obviously have a pretty heavy lift when it comes to the rental cars. And so we're very optimistic about it. The rental car companies actually even support it. But just wanted you to be aware that that's going to be the process. Also, back to Congress, Congressman out of Nevada introduced House Resolution 3746, which is rebuilding America's airports, which would increase the PFC cap. For those of you who are not familiar, the passenger facility charge is a way for us to invest in capital programs. It's basically a user fee that we assess on tickets, airline tickets. It's been held at $4.50 for the better part of 20 years. The proposed language would increase that incrementally over the next 5 years from $4.50 to $8.50, and then a CPI adjustment after 2030. So we're asking our congressman to really have a discussion about what that looks like, to consider co-signing that bill with Congressman Hamadeh out of Nevada. And we will be meeting with Congressman Calvert's team on that request here in the Congress. So that is my update. Are there any questions?
Questions, please. Exciting stuff. So I have a question. So in your report, you talk about the ongoing the P3 meetings that are going on. I know our friends at Daily Strategies are facilitating some of this stuff as well. We had said at the last meeting, is it time, or when is it time to have some of our commissioners join that effort so that we can start to build some knowledge and expertise for this group about it?
Sure. So background on that, right now, our financial consultant, Prasta, and BDK, as well as Capital Personal, our legal firms, are working on identifying if this is even feasible, given some of the agreements that are in place right now in the airport, as well as some legislation that's in California. We think it's feasible, but they just want to do a double check, make sure everything is good to go before they make a recommendation. What will happen after that is what's called value for money analysis. So determining if the airport revenues can support a P3. Once that is done, that is the point where we'll come back to the commission and have a discussion on the policy decisions, what it looks like in terms of where those revenues are generated from, how it has impacts on the airline rate base, things like that. So I'm looking probably about the October timeframe when we start to have those discussions, that's certainly a priority to bring back to the commission.
All right, because I know Ken, you're interested in joining. Phil, you may be as well on the P3 or discussion. If someone else is interested in getting involved in kind of how we're going to finance all this. P3 has some very unique opportunities, assuming we can pull it off. So you'll let us know, and we're ready to get some people involved with that. Fair enough? Any other questions for Harry? Is that it? All right.
No public comments required in this.
Okay. Commissioners' comments and reports. Anything else anybody wants to share or report on or share with everybody else?
I'd like to thank Jeremy and his associates. One of my many other things I do is 29 PSP provide transportation for Marines between the airport and the base. We got our 2 parking spots at the USO assigned to us officially. Thank you. But more importantly, we're working with Jeremy to find a way for Marines to sleep in the airport at night on something other than the floor. We're looking for something cheap that the USO and us will jointly help with the management and the cost of, and temporary, but at least Marines won't be on the floor. How that's going to be done is still open for discussion, but I would like to thank Jeremy and the staff for getting those discussions started, and the USO shares that.
Thank you.
And Lowell's really doing the big legwork on that, so Lowell deserves a lot of the credit on this kind of participating.
Okay, thank you both.
Lowell too.
Thank you both. All right, any other comments or questions for commissioners? All right, just a couple summary comments. First of all, I want to welcome our new commissioners, welcome our new staff. Glad you're with us. Offer our congrats to those of you who have been promoted to your new positions. Congratulations. Congratulations. We're pleased for that. Just a comment, Victoria had mentioned it, but I wanted just to shout out a special condolences to Christina, the loss of her father. She did check in and advised that this had happened. We're sorry that this happened to her and her family, but we sent her and her family our very, very best. I look forward to having her leadership on the art commissions. That's great. Congratulations to all staff on our ratings of 35th in the country. I don't want to have a stretch goal, but maybe next year we can try and be the top 20. All these wonderful things.
Let's start on in November.
That's right. It's all good. But that's great, and appreciate that, and what great PR for our efforts here. Also, a reminder to all of you: let us know what your subcommittee preferences are. And last but not least, thank you to staff for all your preparation. Thank you for all of you showing up today and all you do. With that, we wrap. So you have a great August. We'll see you in September.
Thank you.
Thank you.